Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video I am going to be talking with you a bit more about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and there's lots of other topics to delve into in that, but we'll start with the news on Solskjaer. So according to recent reports, I think I also mentioned this on my video that I did this morning, Solskjaer has allegedly been assured that Manchester United will be competitive in the summer transfer market. By the way, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's limit has been set for the summer transfer window, and reportedly we are only willing to pay 60 or 70 million pounds for any player. So this has been confirmed by Ed Woodward, because Ed Woodward is privately reluctant to spend over £70 million. So reflecting on this, this could put Jadon Sancho's move to Manchester United in doubt. Could put Moussa Dembele's move to Manchester United in doubt. Also, too, could put Son Nagaz's move to Manchester United in doubt. So who are Manchester United going to sign in the summer transfer window? Don't forget, on Thursday, Ed Woodward had spoken to our investors on a conference call, and he obviously revealed our latest financial figures, and our net debt has risen up to £429 million. Obviously, the club is no longer predicting revenues of up to £580 million. So Ed Woodward did confirm this after the conference call, was it on Thursday? And by the way, Ed Woodward did say he's optimistic about the season returning in June. And he did say, the coronavirus pandemic is, one of the hardest moments in Manchester United's 142-year history. But actually, the coronavirus pandemic has cost us around £28 million. But we do expect the final figure to be much higher. So there you go on that. So who are Manchester United going to sign in the summer transfer window? I do believe, we can be competitive in the summer transfer market, because like I mentioned, a lot of clubs are going to face an unprecedented summer transfer window. And I think, our top 6 sides do fear our transfer strategy for the summer transfer window. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed he wants to make around 3, maybe 4 signings in the summer transfer market, because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders next season. And obviously he's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up and that. But, he had Solskjaer coming out a couple of weeks ago saying that, we will enjoy a different transfer window, to the recent ones, that we have enjoyed and that. Obviously, before Ed Woodward announced our latest financial figures, Ed Woodward came out last month, and even he said, we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market. And he basically ruled out big transfers to Manchester United, and he said, we won't spend hundreds of millions of pounds. This is what Ed Woodward had said. But he said, we still will remain competitive in the summer transfer market. And don't forget, I think Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United like he did do last summer and that. But yeah, I do trust Solskjaer a lot, because, I think we have really, really improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. Like I said, Solskjaer's recommended the players that I wanted to recommend in, and, we have been a bit more sensible with our recruitment. Solskjaer has enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club so far, and has spent £220 million on 5 players. The 5 players that he has brought in, have been very, very impressive and that. So the summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager, and it will be his 2nd summer transfer window. So there you go in that. Like I said, Solskjaer's got these big decisions to make in the summer. Who's he going to recommend into the football club? Also, to what players is he going to get rid of? Now, I have got an idea, of the players that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to get rid of. I think Phil Jones is going to leave the football club. I also think that Smalling and Rojo will go on permanent transfers. Smalling's out on loan at the moment with Roma. Obviously, you've got Rojo out on loan at Estudiantes. I think we'll get rid of Jesse Lingard. We'll also get rid of Andrews Pereira. Sanchez will probably be loaned back out, because we'll struggle to get rid of Sanchez on a permanent transfer, reflecting on his substantial wages. I think Angel Gomez is also going to be leaving the football club. I think we're also going to be loaning James Garner out and Dylan Levitt and that. So, players are going to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. So we'll generate money in that aspect and that. So decisions need to be made in the summer. They really, really do. Like I said, the season's supposedly resuming next month. I heard that, the season could be resuming on the 19th of June, and I heard the season could be resuming on the 18th of June, could actually, resume on the 12th of June. It just depends on the fitness levels. Don't forget the first Premier League game back is Tottenham and Manchester United, and it is live on Friday Night Football. Don't forget there was talks of games being venued at neutral grounds, but I don't think it'll happen because too many teams are protesting against it. The Bundesliga is obviously, now back. That returned last week. So I think the Premier League, can return next month. I really, really do, because the football season has been suspended since the 13th of March. So it's been suspended now for the good of it, 9 weeks, 10 weeks or so. The last game we played was, 5-0 against Lask in the Europa League. And the last Premier League game we did play was City. We did beat them by 2-0. So I have been, missing football a lot. By the way, we have named a 29-man squad for when the Premier League season does restart. That has obviously been confirmed. But we did return to training earlier on this week. We returned to training on Wednesday. I think we're in full training now, by the way. A lot of clubs up and down the country have recently returned to training because the Premier League did confirm on a statement on Monday that that clubs had voted to return to smaller training groups and that. So this is a step forward to resuming the season. Like I said, we've got a fully fit squad for when the season resumes, because obviously we've got Marcus Rashford now back. Marcus Rashford has been stepping up his fitness regime because, like I said, Marcus Rashford was out with a back injury. Also, too, we've got Paul Pogba now back. Paul Pogba's been out, he was out with an ankle injury. But before the football season got suspended, Paul Pogba, was close to full fitness, because don't forget he was having one-on-one sessions with Michael Carrick. So revert back to what I said regarding the summer transfer window. It'll be interesting to see how Solsjaker approaches it and that, with these financial losses. I don't think we're going to be able to, give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer an official transfer budget. We will find it very, very difficult indeed. Now, we've got decisions to make before the football season restarts. There's about 5 or 6 decisions that Manchester United have got to make. Like I said, Solskjaer, I think, needs to work out his best 11. Because I don't think he knows his best 11, to be quite honest with you. So it'd be interesting to see what 11 Solskjaer goes out with in the game against Tottenham, when the football season does resume. Maybe he needs to work out his best formation as well, because Solskjaer has been changing formation persistently this season. He has been going with a 4-2-3-1 formation. He's been going with a 4-3-3. He's gone with a 3-5-2 a couple of times. But from my own perception, we look more expansive with that 3-5-2 formation. Should some more of the youngsters get chances when the season does resume. Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. By the way, I think we've had the youngest squad in the Premier League this season. But you had the likes of Mason Greenwood and Brandon Williams that have been given their chances, the young uns. But, you've had the likes of Chong, Gomez, Garner, all their appearances have been limited at the football club. Yes, they haven't that. So maybe should he give, the youngsters more opportunities? Like I said, we've also got to make a decision on Paul Pogba's future. We've got to make a decision on Odion Ighalo's future. Odion Ighalo's loan deal at the football club expires in about 8 days' time. It expires on the 31st of May. You had James Cooper coming out from Sky Sports recently and saying we do remain relaxed over Odion Ighalo's future. Shanghai Shenhua said a couple of weeks ago if they are to get rid of him permanently, they do want £20 million, and we may have reservations about paying £20 million to get him permanently. But I think Solskjaer did make the admission saying that he wants to get a permanent contract for Odion Ighalo. We've also got to make a decision on Delor's future. Don't forget, recent reports have said that Barcelona and PSG have been in for him, Diego Delor. But I think Solskjaer is determined to keep Diego Delor at the football club. His appearances have also been limited, but the main explanation for that is because, he's had a couple of injuries this season, and he's only made one start in the Premier League, and he's our backup to Anwan. He's a backup to Wan-Bissaka. Is Diego Dalot. And all of that. So yeah, we've got to make a decision on Angel Gomez's future and that. But yeah, so when the football season does resume, we've got things to look forward to. We've got the FA Cup to look forward to. We've also got the Europa League to look forward to, because we are into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. We are into the last 8 of the Europa League. And that is a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. Don't forget these 92 games to play in all competitions. Like I said, I think next season's going to start a bit late. Next season could start in like September or October and that. But I want us to get some silverware on the board under Solskjaer, because we haven't won out yet in terms of silverware under Solskjaer. We have lacked silverware in the last 6 or 7 years. We've only won 3 trophies since Fergie left. And that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho and that. And like I said, Solskjaer's been at the football club over 17 months now. So he has been at Manchester United over a year and that. So I wanted to get some silverware on the board. I really, really do. And, we are sitting 5th in the Premier League, 3 points behind Chelsea. And I'm very, very convinced that we can get qualification for the Champions League. Solskjaer, of course, is under pressure to keep the good run of form up, because before the football season was suspended, we was in a good vein of form, because we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. And, hopefully we can keep this good run of form up. But Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, because Woodward said on quite a few occasions this season that, he's willing to back him. He's also assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe quite a few times. Maybe Woodward believes Solskjaer's the foreseeable future for Man United. Maybe the Glazers have got the same perception as well. But like I said to you now, I would give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least another season at the football club, to see who we can recommend in, and give him at least a couple of more transfer windows, because it is a transition period and Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. Don't forget, like I mentioned to you before, I was very, very critical of Solskjaer. A lot of Manchester United fans earlier on the season, were very, very critical of Solskjaer and that, and he was so close to getting sacked earlier on in the season. And at that point, there was talks of Pochettino coming in. There was talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. Don't forget, we went in for Pochettino before we give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently back in March. So there you go and that. Like I said, Solskjaer's been making rotation in the squad throughout the course of this season. That's obviously reflecting on the amount of injuries that we've had. But I've got to make an admission. I think with him, I've seen improvements under Solskjaer than what I saw under Jose Mourinho. Like I said, there's players that have improved under Solskjaer. Martial's done well. Luke Shaw did well since he came back from injury. Rashford's done very, very well. Rashford's one of our best players anyway. Fred's done very, very well, because Fred's been given his opportunities under Solskjaer. But all them players endured very, very difficult times under the Jose Mourinho era. But Jose Mourinho's got a bad reputation anyway with top players and that. So there you go. But Solskjaer did reveal anyway what has changed at Manchester United, since he replaced Jose Mourinho back in December 2018 and that. So there you go. And obviously, don't forget earlier on this week, like I've updated you on my last couple of videos, might be my last 3 or 4 videos, should I say. Solskjaer gave an interview to the United We Stand fanzine. And, he was talking about, that he won't tolerate personal agendas at Manchester United. And he actually, made an admission saying that we've had players at the football club with personal agendas. But yeah, he says now it won't be tolerated. And he insists, there's no current bad apples in the team at the moment. But he's actually, being big on personality, very big on the personality and players fitting the dynamic of the squad. Now, one of Solskjaer's biggest tasks, since he became Manchester United manager, was getting rid of the bad attitudes. And that led to Sanchez's and Lukaku's departure from the football club last summer. And he also said in the interview, he'd rather have a hole in the squad than an arsehole. But, he did reveal the problems we had in the squad last season. So Solskjaer, has seen improvements, from last season. That because obviously, he was saying last season that the players were physically tired, mentally tired, and of course we did have injuries and stuff like that. But he said all this to the United We Stand earlier on this week and that. So there you go. But we need to give Solskjaer time. Like I said, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. Solskjaer is our fourth permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, we've sacked three managers since the Alex Ferguson era, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho. Of course, David Moyes endured 9 months at the football club. He endured the shortest tenure with Manchester United. Obviously, Moyes never should have been recommended in. It was actually Alex Ferguson that recommended David Moyes in. It was Ferguson that did it, but that's the only mistake Alex Ferguson made. But the main explanation why Ferguson recommended him in is because there was both Scottish and that. And at that time, Ferguson had a lot of time for Moyes. Was disastrous under Moyes. I think we finished 7th under the David Moyes era. Like I said, Van Gaal, he lasted 2 years at the football club. He did Louis Van Gaal. We did win the FA Cup under him. And obviously, Jose Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Manchester United. And like I mentioned, he won 2 trophies in his first season. But, we've recruited over 30 odd players in the last 6 or 7 years. And we have spent close to the £1 billion range on them. The vast majority of these players at the moment are Jose Mourinho's, because Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into the football club, and some of them have left, who Jose Mourinho brought in now under Solskjaer, but, there's still a lot of players here from the Jose Mourinho era. Like I said, Louis van Gaal recommended a lot of players in. He brought the likes of Schneiderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Daley Blind, and Di Maria and all of that. But, and he brought Martial and Shaw in, who were still at Man United now. But the vast majority of the players Louis van Gaal brought in have now left Manchester United. Moyes, of course, only managed 2 signings when he was at Man United, and he brought Fellaini and Juan Mata into the football club. Juan Mata's still here, but Fellaini is no longer here. Fellaini left back in January 2019. He was the first player to leave Manchester United under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But, I think Solskjaer's offloaded 19 players, since he came into Manchester United. Since he came into Manchester United. But yeah, we have been playing catch-up for the last 6 or 7 years, and we haven't dominated football since the Alex Ferguson era. All our success, of course, came under Alex Ferguson, because Alex Ferguson won a total of 38 major honours at Manchester United. But of course, from 1986 to 1990, he didn't win anything. So Alex Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years. And don't forget, he was very, very close to getting the sack and that. So there you go. But even though we've been inconsistent for so long now, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the most successful team in England, 20 titles, 13 of them Premier Leagues. And I hope, we can win the league next season or within the next 2 to 3 years. Because analysing it at the moment, City are strides ahead of us, Liverpool are strides ahead of us, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. The last time we won it was in Ferguson's last season and that. So hopefully we can get our 21st title under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era and that. So there you go. Now, you already know the transfer news, don't you? I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Jadon Sancho. I've obviously been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Jack Grealish recently. You know the news on Jude Bellingham. They are the 3 players that actually we want to recommend in, because we've been linked with them players more. We've been linked with them players more than other players that have been on our agenda. They've been spoken about mostly in the mainstream media of Sancho, Grealish, and Jude Bellingham. Like I said, them 3 players, would probably cost us around £220 million. Don't forget we've got 2 young upcoming players incoming, and that's Marc Joado from Barcelona and Joe Hugel from Sunderland and that. I think it mentioned that we've paid around £250,000 to get Joe Hugel, and we've paid around £1.5 million in compensation to get Marc Joado, so there you go. Jude Bellingham, I haven't read about Jude Bellingham recently, but the last time I read about Jude Bellingham, it did say that, we're close to getting him. Jude Bellingham's expected to cost us around £30 million. It also mentioned that we want to get Jude Bellingham's brother as part of the deal, who is Joe Bellingham, who is only the age of 15. Don't forget, a couple of months ago, Borussia Dortmund were emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham, because I think at that point they were seeing him as a replacement for Jadon Sancho. Don't forget, we've made a promise to Jude Bellingham if he comes to Man United in the summer that we will immediately make him into a first team player. Now, Jude Bellingham can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play centrally as well, can Jude Bellingham. And he can also operate in the number 10. Don't forget, back in March, Jude Bellingham had visited our Carrington training ground, to have talks with Sir Alex Ferguson, also to Ed Woodward's parents. Ed Woodward had negotiations with Jude Bellingham's parents and that, so that fueled speculation up. I think Jude Bellingham has been a revelation in the Championship this season. It's been his first season in the senior squad with Birmingham. I think he's played around 30 odd games for Birmingham this season. Made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days, so became the youngest player to ever represent Birmingham, did Jude Bellingham. Yes, he did in that. And, I think he's expected to sign his professional contract when he does turn 17, Jude Bellingham. He's expected to sign his professional contract. I think he turns 17 next month. Jude Bellingham's salary at the moment is 145 quid a week and that. So, yeah. So, I want to get a deal finalised for Bellingham. Grealish, like recent reports did suggest that Grealish's move to Manchester United could depend on Paul Pogba's future. Manchester Evening News also reported, like I mentioned this morning, they said, did the Manchester Evening News, that, we could offer up to 5 players for Jack Grealish, so we wouldn't have to pay the £80 million that Aston Villa want. Villa have said, they do want £80 million, regardless of whether Villa stay up or Villa get relegated, but like I said, we may have reservations about paying that £80 million for Jack Grealish. Alan Hutton came out a couple of days ago and he said, it'd be impossible for Villa to keep Jack Grealish if they do get relegated. Don't forget Jack Grealish recently purchased a guide dog for £25,000 for protection, reflecting on Dele Alli's robbery and stuff like that. But, Grealish has been loyal to Aston Villa for several years because up until this point, Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. Like I said, he's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been in their senior squad since 2014 and since then has become an integral part of their team, and he has flourished under Dean Smith's guidance as Jack Grealish. But yeah, Villa have said, they do want £80 million for him, and we've already confirmed that Grealish is our preference over James Maddison, and the couple of main explanations is because Grealish he was in better form than Maddison. His stats are better than Maddison's. He's more versatile than Maddison. And, he's a cheaper solution. He can play as an attacking midfielder and he can also play as a winner, can Jack Grealish. But even if Villa were to stay up, maybe that's still not going to be enough to convince him, to remain at Aston Villa. Because Jack Grealish now believes he's far too good for Villa. Because, Villa quite clearly can't match his ability. So there you go. There's Bundesliga's games today that are playing. The news on Jadon Sancho. I've been keeping up to date with what's been going on with Jadon Sancho on a regular basis. Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target. Obviously, recent reports have said that Bayern Munich are in for Jadon Sancho. I was reading other reports saying that Borussia Dortmund are reluctant to sell Sancho to Bayern Munich because, in a way, he's Borussia Dortmund's Bundesliga rivals. Dortmund have said, they still want at least £100 million for Sancho. This is what, Borussia Dortmund have come out and said they want at least £100 million. Reportedly, they're not willing to sell Jadon Sancho until the transfer market stabilises, so they are waiting for transfer fees to return back to normal. Like I said, positivity, was recently coming out though regarding Sancho, because you had David Einstein, who's a credible journalist. He came out and said that there's a very, very high chance that Man United will sign Sancho in the summer, and we still remain the favourites to sign him. He said there the other week that, we're only willing to pay 60 or 70 million pounds for him, but I don't think either of them figures are going to be enough to convince Borussia Dortmund to offload him. You had the Borussia Dortmund managing director saying, that he expects players' transfer valuations to drop, with the coronavirus pandemic. But, so do you think now Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is off? Because, we're not willing to pay any more than £70 million for the player and that, So there you go. Like I said, there's also been quite a lot of strikers on our agenda as well. Man United are in search for a striker. You know the news on Erling Haaland. You know the news on Moussa Dembele from Lyon. Reports were coming out the other week saying, we'd allegedly agreed a fee in the region of £60 million for Moussa Dembele. Sol Niguez's in midfield. I'll give you the news on him. There's still reports saying that Sol Niguez to Man United is practically done in that, and it's a done deal. Sol Niguez's release clause is £133 million, or something like that, in his Atletico Madrid contract. But reportedly, we can get him for like half of his release clause due to the financial issues and that. But I don't think a lot of Manchester United fans believe in, the saga regarding Sol Niguez, to be quite honest, because Sol Niguez, isn't one of our priority targets. So there you go. By the way, on my video that I did yesterday night, I give you the news on Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has opened up negotiations with Juventus over his client making a return to Juventus and that. Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has had, talks with Real Madrid and Juventus before. There is still a lot of uncertainty, like I mentioned, over Paul Pogba's future. So we need to resolve his future, as soon as we can. But I expect Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United for next season. Yeah, I'm not sure about the foreseeable future, but for next season, I think he'll be here. Because I'm very, very excited about him playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. They'll make a fantastic midfield partnership and that, But now Paul Pogba is back from injury, like I mentioned, so there you go. So that's mainly everything to update with. So Solskjaer's been assured that we will be competitive in the summer transfer market. He got told this in private, by the way. So there you go. We'll be doing another video soon, by the way. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.